Hey there everyone, John from Trizity Traveling, using my RX0 Mark II to capture these images. Give it a try, see how it looks. Still working out how I want to use this little camera. I'll be using it on board my next trip report. That trip will be on American Airlines, and it's coming up in a week and a half. I get to go fly on American, so I'm kind of excited about that. But today's flight is from Seattle, Washington to Vancouver, Canada. This is with Alaska Airlines. This is a mainline Alaska. And if you watched the previous episode, this flight is on the Salmon-Thirty Salmon, which is kind of cool. At the conclusion of the trip report, I'll have some additional comments about flying on Alaska and my experiences. Thanks. Talk to you in a bit. There is the Salmon-Thirty Salmon, looking lovely on the ramp. And we're on flight 705 to Vancouver. We're in the north concourse of SeaTac, and we'll be departing from C-15. Pretty busy on this Tuesday. This was April 23rd of 2019. And I'm sitting in premium, I guess they call it premium class on Alaska.
You would have room in a closet, would you?
Where are you sitting?
7A. Thank you.
Sitting in 7A, as you probably heard. There is the Alaska seat. They use the slimline seats by Recaro, I believe is how you say that. This flight to Vancouver is roughly 30 minutes long. Not much to see on a cloudy day like this day is. Tons of room. Seat back power. Never seen it in that location. It's actually very convenient having it there. I'm assuming those power boxes are for the seat back power because there are no seat back screens. My single serving friend on this flight was a young man who had just gotten back from Hawaii, and he was wrecked.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
Now I am at the front of the aircraft, but he is crossing the, I think, don't cross line before the previous flight had departed. I've not seen that before. Apparently that's not a big deal. We were slightly late leaving the gate, so he was probably in a bit of a hurry. Might have been a she. Actually, I don't remember. Go, best part of every flight. The Amazon ramp going by. Korean Air 777, followed by, in a moment here, an ANA 787. You can just see it at the bottom there. Internationals at the South Satellite. we departed to the south, meaning we took a left turn to head north to Vancouver. Beautiful above the clouds. Contrails and their shadow on the cloud deck. And the Olympic mountain range, just trying to peek through those clouds. I've yet to get a good view of the Olympic range from the air. It's on my to-do list. Hopefully one of these days I'll be able to get it. 30-minute flight, no service provided by the crew. Bring your own water if you ever take this flight. The tray was a little kind of dirty, frankly. But in the premium cabin, plenty of space. I don't think I've ever seen a tray table slide that much since I was a little kid. Flight attendant announcing we are descending into Vancouver. Definitely an up and down flight. Very smooth though. The pilot was able to find a nice smooth altitude. A few more cloud breaks toward Vancouver. All of the islands in this area covered by trees. Quite lovely, honestly. Beginning our maneuvers as we approach Vancouver International. We are landing to the west. I had hoped that we'd be landing to the east to give me a view of Vancouver downtown, but that did not happen this day. Luck of the draw, when you pick your seat, you never know what direction you're actually going to be landing. All depends on the wind and the weather. Tried to point out some of the landmarks on this flight. A couple golf courses on the approach to Vancouver. Parked on approach. Wonder if they're getting ready to paint that the new livery for Air Canada. Air Canada has a lot of the MAX 8. I only saw 2 parked anywhere near the airport. Must be parked elsewhere in Canada. Transat, I think is how you say that other one back there. Looks like an A33 and a 767 by Rouge. And that brings us to Vancouver.
Welcome to Vancouver. The local time here is approximately 2:05. Please do keep your seatbelt on.
As I said in the video, with a 30-minute flight time, no refreshments were offered on board, even in the premium cabin. I suspect first class did get something, but from my vantage point, I couldn't tell. Overall, the flight experience with Alaska Airlines was very nice. The premium economy section seems quite roomy. I was pleasantly surprised by how roomy it actually was. The flight crew were very pleasant. Didn't have a ton of interaction because this flight was only about 30 minutes long. From checking flight radar, the flight never got above, I think, 20,000 feet, or definitely not to a normal long-haul cruise altitude, so that provided some nice view of the ground when the clouds did clear. So there are 2 more Alaska Airlines flights coming up. The next, obviously, the return from Vancouver to Seattle. Also coming up is the flight home from Seattle to Boise. That will be on the Oregon State Beavers Q400. It would be cooler if I went to Oregon State, but I didn't. But anyway, still cool to fly on a 2 special paint liveries on this particular trip. I will say that my memories of the Q400 were much, much better than the actual experience of the Q400. If you want to see that, stay tuned. Click the reminder bell and you'll be notified of new content, including the Q400 trip report. That will be out in a couple weeks. Please comment if you've got questions about my travels. Please don't hesitate to ask. And as always, I'm wishing you happy travels. Thanks. Where's the beep? Beep.